Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Wednesday as you are listening to the show today. It is The Valley Business Today, and it is the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce's turn at the mic. So I'm staring at the smiling pre-recorded face of Niki Cales from the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. I learned my lesson last month, Niki. You are never getting me live in a studio ever again.
I was thinking, I feel a little gypped because I got to do live last month. And now that I'm thinking back to it, I think I understand why I've been relegated back to the Zoom screen. Unlike, your friend Gaz, who gets to do live every time.
So Herb, last month she turned the tables on me because we were live and made me be the guest and suddenly took away all of the interviewing capabilities and had me showcase my own business, which you are going to appreciate based on the conversation we're going to have with you today.
But,
That's very good.
What she's failing to mention is that she got a lot of really good feedback.
Yeah, I did. I got a couple of new clients. I got a webinar. I know.
Hey, see, that's good.
Well, I'm excited, Niki, because Herb Melrath is on the Zoom screen with us pre-recording today as well, because he is going to be an integral part of a new program that the Chamber is kicking off. So tell me about the program, and then Herb can tell us how he factors into it.
Okay. So we're kicking off a business support services program, and essentially that is as broad as it sounds from the name. So we're utilizing funds that we received from the town through the CARES grant, and those funds are going to be used for Herb to provide services, whether it's planning, counseling services, to startup businesses, existing businesses, folks who, have an issue or, have a question they want answered, who are operating in Front Royal and or Warren County. We are excited to be offering this program and excited for what it's going to mean for our local business owners to have the assistance that may take them to the next level.
And to be clear, they do not have to be chamber members in order to participate in any way in this program.
They do not. Absolutely not. Chamber member or not, they are absolutely welcome to receive the services that Herb will be providing.
And Herb, you and I go way back, and I'm not going to throw either of us under the bus by putting a number of years to that.
Let's not do that.
So I know that you have been a business owner for a lot of years, and now your current position is you are doing exactly what you're going to be helping this chamber program do, which is advise other businesses. Give me a little bit of a background, your background. Tell our listeners who you are and how you're qualified so uniquely to be able to provide these services.
Thank you, Janet. For those of you that didn't know, I'm a former owner of the Main Street Daily Grind down on Main Street in Front Royal. I owned that business for 13 years. Some things that people may not know, that before I started that business downtown, I was a client of the Lord Fairfax SBDC. So I used their services and they helped me get my business up and started. through that time, I gained all the experience, the good, bad, and the uglies of running a small business. Several years ago, 3, 4 years ago now, I guess, I sold the business. And after I sold the business, an opportunity came up to be for a business consultant with the Maryland Small Business Development Center, with an office in Hagerstown, Maryland. And I work for the Maryland SBDC full-time for Washington County, Maryland, doing the same thing, exactly what Jan was talking about, helping small businesses, startups, existing businesses that want to grow their business and help them develop strategic planning, work with them on helping develop marketing plans, work with them on with loan packages or doing a business plan, help them with that in case they want to a business loan to either start their business or get a loan for them that may want to grow their business. One of the things that Niki and I have talked about as part of this program is even doing, right now they'd be webinars, but at some point having workshops as part of this service to the local business owners within Warren County. So based on, and I've been doing that now for almost 4 years, and I've wanted to sort of give back to my local community because I still live here in Front Royal, still have a knack for downtown. So I talked to Niki about seeing if we could do this part-time and provide a service similar to that for the businesses in Warren County. So that's what we're doing. I am excited to do it. And I look forward to helping businesses in whether town or county. And just to let everyone know that, these are confidential conversations. I mean, I just want people to know that if they come to the chamber or come to me, our conversations are just that, confidential. And if we're dealing with a lender or anything else, if they need input or we need to talk, I always get approval from the client to do that if I'm going to speak for a client. It's important to do that because it's not everyone's business to know, especially if it's an existing business, what they need to do to help grow their business or help them with just helping them just getting through COVID the rest of the way. That's that individual business owner's issue. It's really nobody else's. And so I'm here to help them if I can with that.
I would imagine that because we have gone through this pandemic over the last year plus, however many months we're still going to be in it, something like this is even more important because you've got a lot of businesses that maybe didn't make it, but that doesn't mean they don't want to still be business owners, maybe with a different type of business or with a different product or service. You've got businesses that made the pivot, but now don't know how to move forward in their new look and what that's going to be. There's going to be a lot of need for advice and consulting and financial information. You might just get overwhelmed.
You know what? That'll be a good thing. I hope I am overwhelmed because that means I'm providing the service that businesses need, again, you're right, either to pivot, either to start over again. If one business didn't work, a true entrepreneur may come up with something else they want to do. Okay, that may not be exactly in the same venue that their old business was, or they may just want to pivot and reorganize and redo the business they've got. It's just like, all small businesses and everybody, they've gone online. They've done online where they're, ordering and e-commerce and all that sort of stuff. And what they may be doing now is okay, but they still may need to do some more streamlining to make things.
Well, a lot of people threw that together as a Band-Aid to have something. And I think what people are going to start to realize the further away from this we get is that Band-Aid's going to start to peel off. And there are going to be things that need to be fixed for the long term, because getting me through a year to do an online order or delivery or curbside isn't going to last for me for 3 or 4 or 5 more years.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's where they're going to need to maybe become more efficient and what they're doing, look in other ways to do the online or curbside pickup or deliveries or whatever that is. You're right. It's something they had to do, but man, if I'm going to do this in the long run, I've got to relook at how I process, even internal processes of how I do things to make it for long term.
And Nikki, this isn't a surprise to me at all that you don't have to be a chamber member, because you have really strived throughout this pandemic. As important as memberships are to any membership organization, you really have kind of taken the stance that we are all in this together as a business community, chamber members or no chamber members. So I'm not really surprised that this is something that you would do that doesn't limit itself to only chamber members being able to participate.
Well, there's a couple of, you're right. Yeah, we've tried really hard. We're in interesting times, right? And so we do have to do things that maybe we wouldn't have done before. But the funds that we're using for this are CARES funds. So it would not be fair for us to say, hey, you have to be a chamber member or two. But also, we're not just a chamber, that has some members, and we're a chamber that cares about our community. And if our business community is successful, we're successful. So we certainly want to see everybody succeed.
Well, let's take a break. When we come back, I'm going to put Herb through the ringer. I'm going to give him some case study scenarios. Okay, Herb, what if? And you can walk me through how the process looks, just so people understand, what it's going to look like when they reach out to you for some sort of advice. So you brace yourself during the break, Herb. Nikki's going to giggle and probably send me something in the private chat about a question I should ask you. And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Wednesday. As you are listening to the show today, it is the Valley Business Today, Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. Niki Cales is on the Zoom screen pre-recording with me. Joining her is Herb Melrath. We've been talking about the Chamber's new program, Business Support Services. Niki, I'm not going to let you keep calling it that. I'm going to have to come up with some other cool and more catchy, interesting name. So that's not going to fly. It'll have a new name probably before the show even airs, quite frankly.
I'm sure I'll get a text message later tonight. Here's what it's called.
Yes. And then I'll have to do a disclaimer on another show because we pre-recorded it. My life is just a nightmare of a calendar. So Herb, I joked when we went to break that when we came back, I was going to give you sort of some rapid fire questions, because I think people need examples to understand exactly what kinds of things and what kind of a resource that you are going to be for them in their business. So one of my scenarios is, let's say I bought a business in January of 2020. No idea a pandemic really was coming. There was only minor rumblings, and nobody really thought at that point that it was going to amount to anything. So I buy this business because it's a good business decision, and I have all these plans and all these ideas for what I'm going to do to grow this business. And then bam, come March, I'm closed for 2 weeks, maybe even longer. And now I've figured out how to get through. How do I get back to where I was in January and start implementing those new ideas? Is that something you could help somebody with?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, congratulations to that business if they just started in January and they're still surviving, and made it through. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, it basically, I would sit down with the business owner and talk to them of their status and what do they want to do? How do they want to grow the business? Where was it, where was it at in January of 2020? Okay, so I would call it like a strategic plan or just a small business plan of how do you want to get back to there? What's the process? Are you going to need funding? Or are you going to need additional marketing? Are you going to need more staff? Just go through that discussion and find out what are they going to need in order to make that, and put a plan together, and we start executing it together to try to make that happen. But all that is really on a business to business. Everyone's a little different. Okay. So what may work for one business may not work for another, but you just need to understand where they're at and okay, what's their goal? So, and what are the numbers? And I help them put together financial projections as well. So it sort of makes sense from the data that here you are today, here's where I want to be in 6 months to the year. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's how you're going to grow your sales, and you sort of execute it.
I think the biggest help that you are going to provide for a lot of these businesses is being that resource. Because if you've been in your business working every day, just trying to make the black or the red turn to black at the end of every month, you don't know where you are. You have no idea what your roadmap is, and you may not even know what questions you should be asking yourself to figure that out. So you're going to be a great objective third-party resource.
Yeah, and sometimes you just need someone to talk to, and find out what it is, and then once you start talking through the issue, then the answers and the light bulbs start coming on, and realizing, like you said, they've been working in their business so long, they haven't had a chance to work on their business. And that's the key. Every business owner at some point needs to step back and work on their business to figure out how they want to go to the next step. And the next step after COVID is probably going to look entirely different than pre-COVID. Okay. And that may be scary for a lot of business owners. And I get it. I mean, it would be. Even if I was still a business owner, that would be scary for me, and figure out how I'm going to, change. And also they need to realize that things that you did during COVID, whether that's online ordering or curbside pickup or whatever else you did, isn't probably going to go away. So the things that you put together during this time period to make that happen, we're probably going to need to take a look at, is that how you want to look during the long haul? Or what processes do you really need to change within your business to be more efficient, more cost effective, so that you can do it better in the long haul? Because a lot of us, including me, sort of like the idea of pickup and delivery and all that sort of good stuff that, hey, you know what? That's good.
Oh, I've said that. Nikki and I have had so many conversations about the things that I will probably never go back to doing. And it's not even because of the pandemic. It doesn't have anything to do with infection rates or, getting sick or any of that. I am lazy. And if you can let me do some of this stuff that I had to do a different way before, and now you've shown me an easier way to do it, I don't care if you give it to me for free. If I can't not get out of my car to get it, I'm not interested.
Well,
Right.
yeah, and we've talked about it. I do. It's sort of like the genie's out of the bottle, and you can't put the genie back in. And I think businesses that try to go backwards to their old way of doing things, they'll see their business suffer for that.
Yeah. And the key is, like Herb, you said, you have to be able to figure out a way to make those things sustainable.
Yes.
Because you could make them work in the short term, even though that short term turned into a year plus, but to make them sustainable for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and a part of your business plan is going to take a little bit of advice and a little bit of help me out here, man.
Well, and that's going to go back to, who's your customer? Your customer base may have changed during COVID. And if you've got people that have now gotten used to ordering online, like you doing everything over their cell phone, and your age of your clientele has changed, so that's something you're going to need to look at, because that could be very well. And you going back, it may not work, because your customer base has changed. Your demographic has changed.
I think the one thing that the pandemic probably too has taught a lot of business owners is how important it is to understand and know your finances. the profit and loss, your balance sheet, to know how much money's coming in, how much money's going out, and what does that actually mean for your checking account at the end of the day. Are you able in this new program to answer and help guide businesses in those decisions?
Sure. I mean, I can help them based on the data they provide. We can look at do a cash flow analysis. What is your break even point? That's something they're going to need to look at even down the road, is if you plan on expanding the business and you're going to need a loan or help to do that. The whole point of doing a financial projection is say, okay, can I afford this loan? Can I afford this monthly payment? Well, we're going to have to put sales together and find out whether or not you can, and what does that do to your cash flow at the same time. So it is important. And any business that is still up and running through COVID, you know what, whether you liked it or not, you figured it out. It may not be the best way of doing it, but you know what, if you're still here today, congratulations, really, to all those businesses that have made it this far and are still have their doors open. So I salute those guys, because it hasn't been an easy trek.
Can you help with issues or give advice and guidance on issues like human resources? I mean, we've talked about growing your business and the finances. What about other parts of an operational business?
Sure. I mean, I know people locally. It's all about part of one of the things I love about this job is you start networking with other people, and you start knowing other people that can be able to help. So between, that's what I like, working with the chamber on this, because we have resources just within the chamber that we've got, and our members within the chamber that will be able to help, provide people with a resource. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if I don't know an answer, I'll try to get you an answer. Yeah.
So how do I start? Do I call you? Do I email you? Do I come to the chamber? What is the first step?
Yes, and yes. Either one. Any of the above. You can call Niki up, and say, hey, I want to talk to Herb, and she'll give you my contact information. To be honest, the best way to get a hold of me is my new email address that I got. It's hmelrath@frontroyalchamber.com. And you go ahead and email me, and that is dedicated to this service that we're doing. We'll just talk through and set up a time to meet, and go from there.
And right now, this is almost all being done virtually. So it can be done from their business office, from their house, from their back porch, the deck, the pool, wherever, which makes it, I think, a whole lot easier. I think that's the one thing some business owners are grateful for, is that it does kind of give us a little bit more flexibility being able to do things virtually now.
Oh yeah. I mean, and even with what I'm doing, it's so much easier now to get in contact with somebody, a time and a place, and we don't have to meet somewhere, okay, fine. As long as you got Microsoft Teams or Zoom or whatever, yeah, we can connect and have a discussion, or just talk over the phone. I don't have to do a video chat. We can just, exchange phone numbers and call and do it that way as well.
Do people still do that?
Yes, Janet, some people still pick up the phone, dial a phone number, even though now we have to dial all 7 digits. You've got to, some of us still do that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, because of course I say that, and every morning Niki actually calls me on the phone and we have an actual phone conversation. But it just seems so strange that I would call somebody and say, hey, here's a link, meet me on Zoom in 20 minutes.
And some people still use voicemail. They actually leave messages still.
Yeah, I don't. My voicemail tells you at the beginning of it, don't leave me a message because I'm not going to listen to this.
It literally says that.
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay.
So Niki, before we wrap up, I want to make sure we do talk about one thing that is in person, and it is just around the corner. You're playing golf. Well, you're not playing golf.
Yeah, I'll be driving a golf cart probably. But yes, May 14th, we have the Millionaire Maker Golf event coming up. And we are having it again at Blue Ridge Shadows. We still have space for teams. We also still have whole sponsorships available. I have some opportunities for folks to put promotional items in the bags if they'd like. And we're looking for some prizes. So if folks have something they want to donate. So what I will say though is actually, no, I won't say this, because this is actually going to air in the future. And so the fact that the price changes in a couple of days won't matter.
I think when we did the show last month, we said by the time you come back again, the price will have already gone up.
Yes.
So the price is the price
Yes.
now, people. You missed your boat.
Exactly. You missed your chance.
Well, now wait a minute. So let's do a little horse trading here. So if somebody is listening and they call and say, hey, that's not fair because I missed the show last month and I still want to get the old pricing. Janet said I could.
Okay. I'll call. All right.
I love having this kind of power, Herb. Do you see how awesome this is?
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody's listening and they haven't registered yet
but they have to do it before the end of the week. They can't, this isn't going to drag out forever. If they're listening to the podcast next week, it's too late. Sorry, you've missed your chance.
So they have to respond by the 7th of May.
Okay, perfect. And they can call and say, Janet said I still get the discount, and they will still get the discount.
And they will get the discount. Absolutely.
Yeah. My husband's going to come home and say, hey, what about this discount? Why didn't you tell me there was a golf tournament? I'm going to say, good for your job. I got more, things to buy. You need to go back and work and not be on the golf course. Well, thank you both. I will put, Herb, all of your contact information up on the show notes page. So if somebody's listening today and they couldn't write it down or they don't remember any of it, all of the links and everything will be up on the show notes page so that they can reach out to you. And I will just personally recommend you myself, even though I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. How about that? And I will be back tomorrow. I am having a conversation with Dan Cronin. Dan is actually with the Alzheimer's Association National Capital Area Chapter. Fairly certain that I know I've already recorded it. I'm fairly certain I messed that up a couple of times. We're going to be talking about Alzheimer's and some of the early warning signs. So meet me back here for that tomorrow, just a few minutes after noon.